Well, good morning. My name is Jennifer Munro. Um, I have taught eighth grade, mostly eighth grade English for 25 years. They survived, and what's more, so did I. Um, and I'm also a professional storyteller. I've been telling stories for many, many years. And uh, I've written a book of short stories that you can find from my website if you just Google Jennifer Munro. I'm really passionate about story creation and particularly the aspect of rhythm. And so part of this workshop is going to be on how storytellers can harness this really powerful but simple technique that is based on rhythm. And then we'll go into how it relates to language acquisition. And of course, the oral tradition is steeped in rhythm, you know, fee, fo, fi, fum, also, nursery rhymes, and for very good reason, which I'll elaborate later. I wanted to share, and I know someone came up and said they didn't see the handout. You will when I screen share it. And if you don't have it, I know it was Katie, I can send it to you. And you can also download it from the link. I found this quote recently in a book that I read by Sigrid Nunez from the book called The Friend, because it's all about the rhythm, you said. Good sentences start with a beat. And the rhythmic structure of music and language share similar characteristics. They both have beats. They both, and that's the steady pulse, tempo, speed, meter, pattern of beats, accent, intensity, stress, syncopation, irregularity of beats, and duration, the length of the sound. Now, if you know anything about my work and about my passion, one of my passions is Charles Dickens. And I do a one-woman show of A Christmas Carol. And in my research about Dickens, I discovered that as he was writing, creating this story, he found himself laughing and then weeping, laughing and weeping. And he realized that the rhythm of the whole piece was similar to the rhythm of a musical piece. And since it was a Christmas story, he happened to call it A Christmas Carol. And that's why, if you've ever read A Christmas Carol, it has stave 1, stave 2, stave 3. It does not have chapters for the same reason. And he achieved this rhythmical effect by a simple switching between two things, scene and summary, and then the tone and the pace of the scene or the summary. And what is really important for storytellers to understand is, and I'll go into what scene is and what summary is in a minute, is the switching between these two will create the rhythmical piece of your story, which makes it easier to listen to. So we've all heard of show, don't tell. I used it for years teaching eighth grade students. So can anyone just tell me what that means? What does show and what does tell mean? Raise a hand, and I'm hoping Eric is still here because I'm spotlighted. Actually, Eric, if you could put us all onto gallery view, I would find that much more useful. Maybe I can do that. Gallery. There we are. Hello, everybody. All right. So, what is the difference between show and tell? Yes, Priyanka.
Hi, greetings to all. My understanding of show, don't tell, and I may be wrong, is that when we tell, we are using simply the words like there was an old woman who was thirsty and tired. Scene two, there was an old woman. She entered the room exhausted, her throat really dry. So we are, performing it and getting the sensory play with some rhythm and some sounds is what I understand of it.
Yeah, beautiful. You did it beautifully. We've no need to take the rest of this workshop. Yeah. I'm joking. I hope. Yes. So a scene is like show, isn't it? Show me the woman's exhaustion. Show me her struggle. Don't tell me she was struggling. Don't tell me she was exhausted. Don't tell me the information. Show me. Um, and then uh, tell is, I'm just going to tell you these details. Now, as a teacher, I always said, show, don't tell. And that's not right. You need both. And I learned this fact rather late in my career from a friend who was taking a workshop on novel writing. And this author said, you need both scene and summary, and you need to switch between the two um, because a summary requires the reader or the listener to work hard at recreating that scene. They have to do the imaging, they have to do the hard work of using their imagination. When you give summary, you provide them with a little break. You can say, oh, sit back and I will give you the information. See? And as Dickens discovered as he was writing, this creates the rhythm of the whole piece. And because I learned it late in my career, I have many stories that do not start with a scene. But since I've learned it, the newer stories that I've created, and some of them I've gone back and changed, I begin with a scene. It doesn't matter how you begin. You can begin with summary, you can begin with scene. But as long as you switch between the two, it's very powerful. So we are now going to go to screen share, and I will show you so here are examples of scene summary. And I'm going to ask you to really pay attention to the difference between the two. And then we're going to go into breakout rooms with a partner, and you're going to answer 4 simple questions. So could we have a volunteer just to read out sample A? Now I can't see you because you've disappeared. So if you would like to read it, just begin. Take it away.
A few days before Christmas, I took my son Ben into Chicago for a doctor's appointment. On the way back to the car, I suggested we go to Carson, Peary, and Scott and take a walk through Santaland. The store always does a beautiful job with its Christmas decorations, but that year they outdid themselves. When we got to Santa, I was surprised to see that no one was standing in line to see him.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Selena. Anyone like to read B? And I will scroll down as we go along. Just begin. All right, you'll get tired of hearing my voice eventually.
Do you want me to
Elegant
continue? Oh,
Go ahead.
who,
Elegant.
me? Go
Yes,
ahead.
go ahead.
Okay. Elegant Christmas music filled the lightly pine-scented air as we gazed at the gingerbread houses encrusted with candy gems, at the workshops with their mechanical elves busily making toys, and the reindeer lifting their heads to stare at us, and all the time Rudolph's nose was blinking on and off. Soon we arrived at the little grotto where Santa sat, looking resplendent with his bushy white beard. Just a sec, you moved it.
Sorry.
Hang on. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Bushy white beard, rosy red cheeks, kindly blue eyes, and impressive round belly. I was surprised to see that no one was waiting in line. And when he saw us, his face broke out in a huge smile as if he was glad of the company. He gave my 8-year-old son, Ben, a jolly wave and then patted his knee, inviting him to sit.
Okay. So in a moment, we're going to go into breakout rooms, and I hope Eric is still here so that he
Yes,
can
I'm here.
good.
Now, of the 25 people who are here, only 7 of us have our cameras on. So I suggest putting 3 or 4 people in each breakout room because of the 4 people who are in there, maybe only 2 of them are at their computer.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. It
Okay, so
will work.
we'll put 4 in per room. Just give me a second.
Okay. So here are, well, wait just a minute, because I need to ask the questions. Here are the
Go
4
ahead.
questions. Number 1, decide which is scene, which is summary, which I think is pretty easy. Now I want you to discuss the differences between the two, and be very specific for scene. Go into poetic devices. There are not too many. It's a very simple scene. So alliteration, do I use simile? Do I use consonance? Consonance is just the repetition of similar consonants. And then I want you to determine which is better, which is more effective. And the last thing I want you to make a note of is what tense is the scene written in. Okay, and I'm going to give you 5 minutes for this. If you feel that you don't need the full 5 minutes, you can come back to the main room yourself. But Eric will bring everybody back in 5 minutes. Okay.
Now, should people download the handout before they go in?
That would probably be useful.
Okay, the link to the handout is in the chat section. If you can, please download it now and keep it on your hard drive.
I have a question though. I opened the link, the storytellinginstitute.org, and I don't see the scene that you just read.
The handout?
Oh wait, sorry, now I do. It's on the second page. Okay, thank you. I think. Yeah. Okay.
Very good.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay,
Excuse
so
me, where is
whoever
the handout? I'm sorry. Where can the handout be found?
in the chat section,
Okay.
there's a link. Just click on that link and you'll see it on a web page, and then you can download that to your computer if you like. It's a PDF file.
Okay. Thank
Okay. So now, Jennifer, shall we open the breakout rooms?
Yes, please.
And again, what is their mission in the breakout rooms?
Decide which is scene, which is summary. What are the differences between what devices does summary use that maybe that scene uses that summary doesn't? Decide which is better, which is more effective, and the tense of the paragraph.
By scene, that's SCENE?
Correct.
So what words actually create a scene in our mind, a visual scene that we can imagine, as opposed
Correct.
to a summary of such?
Yes.
Okay, now I'm just going to put everyone in breakout rooms, including you, Jennifer. So if you don't want to be in the room, please come out. And somebody said, please don't put me in a room, but I forget who it is. So just come out. If you don't want to be in the room, just come out. Okay, bye-bye for 5 minutes. Jennifer, it seems you left the meeting and now you've come back. You've got to turn your mic on.
Sorry if I frightened you.
That's quite all right.
Instead of leave room, I left meeting.
That's
So
fine.
let
That's
me-
fine. Now it's still recording. Should I put it on pause while people are in these rooms?
Sure.
And we're inviting people to come back from the breakout rooms. They'll be here in 30 seconds.
Maybe they all left.
No, they're on the way. 3, 2, 1, here they come.
Ah, okay, so you'll have to unmute yourselves for this section, which is scene and which is summary, and have just one person from your group respond, and it can be anyone. It doesn't really matter. Just raise an electronic hand or a physical hand, which is scene and which is summary. Surya. Go ahead.
I think the first one looks like the summary, and the second one is
First one is summary. Would you agree, everybody?
yeah.
Yes.
The first one is summary, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the second one is scene. So what are the differences between the two? And we've kind of talked about this, but I want more specifics now. And again, anyone can answer. Priyanka.
Hey, I hope I speak on behalf of everyone. It was great in the breakout room, and we all discussed a lot of ideas. I'll start with the summary.
Just tell, yes.
Okay,
Go ahead.
the summary, which is the A part, is more of facts and more of a declaration. They are simply words. In marked contrast is B, where we are able to imagine more, visualize more. We could see consonants, as you suggested. There was a lot of personification, like the kindly blue eyes, and for the belly, the round belly, he's using a word. Uh, yes, so there are a lot of poetic devices, and the colors and the imagery is making it richer in an experience.
Correct. And I say thank you, Priyanka. And I see Denise.
Yeah. Hi. I felt in the first one, in the summary, I was watching. As a listener, I was watching. And the second one, I was going with you. And
Oh,
one felt more present, although they both felt in the past. One was a closer experiential past than the other one.
right. Um, and I think it's the rosy red cheeks, kindly, there is this repetition of the K sounds there, um, bushy beard, resplendent, the use of repetition of S's. This is nothing new. We do it all the time. It's just that we don't consciously set out to do this when we create a story. In fact, I would say that most of the time we set off wanting to give information about the story, just the facts, ma'am, right? And what I did with this story, I started off um, with summary. And then I went back and I changed it to scene. But in the next paragraph, then I gave background details. Oh, by the way, we were on our way home from a doctor's appointment. And it's very easy to do. So I would suggest, even with stories that maybe you've created, you could go back and you could make that little change. So, which is better? Which is more effective? Priyanka, the second one. Yeah, when we see something and recreate it in our imaginations, it feels richer somehow. But it doesn't matter which is more effective, they're both necessary. So you could not do a whole story in scene. It would be too exhausting. You need that. What tense do the paragraphs use? Is it in the present tense or the past?
Past.
Past, right. And the reason I ask this question is because, particularly in America, the moth radio hour, moth style stories has really taken off. And many moth style storytellers, in order to make their story more immediate, start and continue in the present tense. So it's 1963 and I'm walking down the street, which gets so old so fast. And I think you can make your story immediate by simply using scene. So that's just my soapbox. All right. Now, the next activity that we're going to do, I'm going to share screen in a moment, and you've got this in your handout, folktale openings. Folktales rarely use scene. They mostly tell their story using summary. They have been honed by eons of oral storytellers who have whittled it down to its simple plot structure. So to enable us to create a scene, I have given you 5 folktale openings. So I'll screen share, and what we're going to do, well, let's just screen share. Okay. Eric, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here, and I have to make you co-host again.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So folktale openings, here we go. You have them. I'm not going to read them all, but what I want you to do is read them for yourself, and I will scroll down slowly so that you can read them to yourselves. And what I want you to do is silently choose one for yourself. Now, I'm going to put you into a breakout room. So let's just go through and read them first of all. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to put you into a breakout room, and your whole group is going to choose one of those folktale beginnings, and you're going to transform it from summary, and you're going to paint a little scene. Now, this point is really, really important. What I want you to do is write it down. Everyone in your group has to write down what you all decide. When we come back to the main room, one person from your group, so elect that person now, one person from your group is going to share what you've created. But I want you all to have that creation written down for yourselves, because we're going to come back and we're going to do a little addition. Okay, so do we have any questions? So simply, when you go into your breakout room, choose the line, the folktale opening that you want to transform, and then get to work on scene.
I have a question, Jennifer, and good to see you, is it no more than what is in expanding no more than what's in the line there?
Correct. And
Okay.
thank you for asking that question, Judith, because very important. Don't try and write the whole story. So choose maybe one noun. You know, it can be the yam. It can be the country, the poor countryman. It can be the tiger. It can be the violent storm. It can be the poor woman's hut. You might even do one or two nouns, but don't make this heavy weather. It's just an exercise. Um, so, does that help? You're not telling a story, you're creating a little tiny scene. Okay, I'm going to give you 5 minutes, which I hope will be enough. Maybe 6 minutes. I'll be generous. And then we'll come back and see what you've created. Okay, so Eric, if you can put them back into breakout rooms, and
Okay.
I
Hello, Jeff. And hello, Rachel.
Hello, Eric.
Hello.
Hello. To tell you the truth, I'm not exactly sure what this mission is. It's about painting a picture of the scene as opposed to describing the scene? Is that it? I'm not sure of the distinction.
Perhaps it's like what the woman with the breath workshop did, where she really created that scene, so that we were in it. But I'm not clear either. I just came, so I have to let everybody else do most of the work.
So Jennifer, this is the distinction is between kind of describing a scene analytically as opposed to presenting it in a more direct, tangible way. Oh, you got to turn your mic on. You're on mute.
I lose everything, and now I can't. Okay,
Yeah.
so a scene is literally the old-fashioned show. Show me a person's exhaustion. Show me what the poor countryman looks like. Don't tell me he's poor. Show me he's poor. Summary is where I just give the facts.
Summary
This
is
happened.
Summary is a report about it.
A report about it. Yeah. Yeah. And both are, I think, essential in story creation. Does that help?
Yes. Okay, I'm going to go on pause again.
So welcome back, everybody. You will need to unmute yourself. And so I'd like a volunteer from your group to first of all read the original opening, folktale opening, and then what your group created. And I'm hoping that everybody has written down what you created. So first group, and we had 3 groups, right, Eric?
No, we had 5.
Oh, 5 groups. Okay, so 5 sharings. Number 1. Come on, somebody jump in and volunteer to share what you read.
Do we know which number we were in? I don't remember. Or
Well, in your group, you should have decided who was going to share.
We're number 4. That's where
oh,
we
we're
are.
number 4. Okay, thanks, Judith. Okay, we'll wait.
It doesn't matter. We don't have to go in order.
Okay,
So,
then just to speed things
Sweet.
up. Yeah.
Yes.
In my group, with Judith and Waiting, we tackled the Sultan, the vain Sultan. So with that limited time we had, once there lived a Sultan who spent hours looking into the 10 mirrors placed in his changing room, getting his servants to bring him shirts, pants, coats, jewelry to try on. It took him a long time to put on and take off because each servant that brought an item had to kneel, bow, and then get up and get those items and return things, and they would also have to kneel and bow at the same again. So every 3 hours he would go back into the changing room because he needed a new set of attire.
So you have conveyed that he's very vain, right? And you did not say that he was very vain. One of the things that I would suggest with that little scene, and I haven't mentioned it, but it is a powerful thing to incorporate. I would love to see maybe his nose was pointed always to the sky. Whenever anyone came into the room, he would screech or demand, bow, kneel, So you use dialogue to convey the information, and that will bring the little scene much more vividly alive. Beautiful. You really showed me that vain sultan. How about we have someone from group number 1? Denise. Oh,
I would love to, Jen. I didn't write it down, but someone in our group wrote it down. Who was that? Maybe they could share that with you.
All right, I was in Denny's room. It was
Thank you.
Ramya, Dennis, myself, and we had Moira. No, we had Katie. Yes,
Katie.
and some beautiful ideas came up. So I'll just reread it. First, I'll go with the original. This is the first set of dialogues. Long, long ago, in a violent storm, a tiger crept for shelter close to the walls of a poor woman's hut. That's the original. Now, with the ideas of 4 of us, a long time ago, when magic was real, there was an angry storm that was unkind. This storm was sudden and it scattered the animals. The trees rattled, the branches went flying, the clouds were crushing against each other. And even the robust tiger crept slowly, slowed with exhaustion. He tried to sit near where the 2 walls of a poor woman's hut was. The walls were small, yet warm with hope.
Nice. Did everyone see that scene? Yes, the crashing, the whooshing of the wind, much more vivid and therefore much more memorable. Thank you, group number 1. Let's go to group number 3. Anyone from group number 3?
I'm not sure people know what number of the group
Okay.
they're in is.
Okay, Selena, would you be good enough to share your groups?
I would share, but we did not do it. So we did discuss the long, long ago, exactly like Priyanka's group did, and they did it so beautifully. But we actually didn't write anything down. I think we had a bit of confusion as to what we were supposed to do. And then before you knew it, time was absolutely gone. So, but now listening to the other groups, it gives us a lot of hope.
Confusion is always good because what it has done, I think Priyanka's group's example has said, oh, yeah, we could have done that. So, out of the confusion came enlightenment. So let's have another group. June, were you in a group?
I was in a group.
Would you
we
be
didn't
good enough?
decide on anything. We did some outlines of what we'd want in the story. I created a little one. I don't know what the others did, but I could read mine if you wanted.
Sure, go ahead, June.
Okay, so it was the tiger one. A long time ago, a violent storm descended on the valley. The lashing wind bent the branches, and the driving rain drenched the foliage. And the crashing thunder sent all the creatures scurrying for shelter. The shivering tiger crept beside the wall of a poor woman's hut.
Nice. Yeah. Could you begin that again? Just to the beginning?
A long time ago, a violent storm descended on the valley.
Okay. I would suggest a long time ago, the wind howled, it crashed, it whatever. So you don't have to tell me it's a violent storm because you're going to show me that it's a violent storm.
Good point.
And it's just that the difference is so very subtle when you come to create, which is what you're encountering. This sounds so easy, but it isn't. I've done this workshop before, and the groups have come up with another summary. of the summary, right? Selena.
Well, so it's interesting, and thank you, June, for that. So in our group, this is what happened is like I jumped in and started to create, and I had done it. I didn't say violent storm, but I did it as long, long ago. The winds came in from the north, the south, the east, the west,
Nice.
creating, yeah, whatever, da 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 da. But so it's all very interesting to see how it
Yeah,
connects
yeah,
together, and you're right, we don't need to say the words, so it's very interesting.
yeah. So, I would go further and say the wind howled from the west, it roared from the east, it bit from the north,
Nice.
and it's just those little things,
Yeah.
and at the same time create a much nicer pattern and rhythm of words.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I think we've got another group. Anise, is it? Anise, would you like to share your group?
Yes, I was in the same group as June, and sort of
Okay.
yeah, we just noted down some clue words: slashing, thunder,
Beautiful.
yeah, the tiger was stuff like that, and then we were about to start writing, and we had to end.
Okay. My apologies for not giving you
Oh
more
no,
time.
we were just trying to figure
Is
out if we had to put it as a group or do it individually. So we first,
Yeah.
made some. We just got the clue words, sort of jotted down, and then we said we will write down each of us.
Okay. Is there any group who has not shared? So we've all done that, right? Yes? Okay. I'm now going to tell you what I would have done next. But I want to move on to the videos, and I want to talk about why all of this stuff is important. So I want to share
Be sure to click Share Computer Sound.
aren't I on sound?
No, if you're going to play a video clip, you've got to click Share Computer Sound.
Where would I'm not showing the video yet.
Okay, we'll just go ahead and see if it works. If it doesn't, you have to come back and go in again.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm not sharing sound just yet. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
These are little examples from my own work that I think demonstrate rhythmical pattern and quality. 100% French Parisian silk camisole knickers. There we've got assonance, consonance, alliteration. What had started out as a pair of black patent leather, silver buckled, totally unsuitable, break, I'll never be allowed in town again with Auntie Lily again, end break, school shoes. Again, a series of adjectives, alliteration, what have you. What had started out as an expedition had turned into an exhibition, and Granddad was the main exhibit. That day's Bible text fluttered around my father like flaming tongues of fire. All those lovely F words, right? Simple repetition. Go, Mom, go. You can do it. You can do it. Go, Mom, go. The other kids joined in. Go, go, go. You can do it. You can do it. Go, go, go. And of course, the master of rhythm in poetry, anyone lived, E. Cummings, my favorite. You've got E. Cummings in your handout. What I would have done is ask you to take the second example, a pair of black patent leather, silver buckled, totally unsuitable, break, I'll never be allowed in town with Auntie Lily again, school shoes. And this is what I would have asked you to do. And we may come back and do this at the end if we have time. But if not, I would have asked you to take a line from your description. You know, you start off with the noun. So instead of school shoes, for that violent storm, it would have been the word storm. So then you would have done a series of rhythmical, alliterative adjectives describing it, then a break, and then a piece of information. I'll never be allowed in town with Auntie Lily again, school shoes. So if we have the example of the wind, we might say the rushing, crashing wind howled, growled, break, and bit the tiger on his rear. And then the violent wind, something like that. So that's what we would have done. So I'm going to stop share, and maybe we'll come back to that if we have. Judith, you have a question?
Yes, my question is, so do we have to review like what you just did? Like in the choice of talking about the wind, you picked the word like the word growled. So the I don't even remember from 100 years ago what the g and the like the how like all those kinds of sounds. Do we need to become that? Are you suggesting that we need to become familiar with how we use our throat and the sounds in our mouth?
That also helps with rhythm. Growl,
Yeah,
howl.
right,
Yes,
right. Because you did
absolutely.
it instinctively. So you already instinctively have associations with. I know the sounds are classified into different groupings. So you already have an association between the sounds and the effect of the visceral effect of those sounds. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
It's a lot.
yeah.
That's that seems like a class in itself.
Yes, yes, it is. The other useful thing I think as storytellers and as story creators is a simple device is think of kitchen sounds, things sizzling, things hissing. Um, think of animal sounds, barking, screeching, howling. And you can use those verbs instead of said.
Got it. Yeah.
She sizzled, she hissed, she growled. It's simple, but it's very powerful.
Yeah, and I can even hear it in the back of your throat, the like vibrations of like growling. So
Right.
thank
I
you.
mean,
There's a lot there.
okay. So the real question is, why is rhythm important in stories? I think we know instinctively that it is. We love to listen to music because of the rhythm, but we also love to listen to language because of the rhythm. And there is a powerful connection between rhythm and language acquisition. And I happened upon this video by Anirudh Patel, professor of psychology in the School for Arts and Scientists at Taft University. And he's researching the connection between the processing of musical rhythm and language acquisition in the brain. Now, you have the link to this Taft talk. It's fascinating. And Dr. Patel is wonderful to listen to. What human beings are able to do is predict a rhythmic pattern. They're able to tap out the beat of a metronome, but they're not only just able to tap out the beat, they're able to predict its pattern. And so when in a laboratory situation, they're asked to tap out the beat, they anticipate when the beat is coming, and they tap exactly on the beat because they are predicting the time when the metronome will go click, 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 and they're able to do that. Right? Now you think that with monkeys, they would share this predictive ability. They don't. Professor Patel did a study with monkeys, and for 5 hours a day, they tried to teach these monkeys to tap out a beat. They could do it, but they had to wait for the beat to occur before they pressed the button. In other words, they were a little beat behind. So they're not able to do it. While human beings were engaged in this metronome tapping out the beat activity, 2 areas of the brain were activated: motor planning and auditory areas. Okay? Because both of those areas of the brain were active, they were able to predict the beat. Monkeys are not able to do that. However, cockatoos can. And Dr. Patel discovered on YouTube this cockatoo. Let me first show you how human beings react to music and rhythm. So let's go to screen share. Let's see if I can find it.
Again, that share computer sound. I think it's a box on the right.
Yeah. Let's go to this one. Now, why won't that connect?
Maybe copy it and paste it into Chrome.
Come
Yeah,
back.
I've got
No
it.
matter how hard you scrub, you spray, you bleach, you scrub until your arms ache.
We heard the sound from it for a moment.
Yep, I'm just scrolling forward.
Do a video to illustrate.
So what he's doing right now is illustrating.
No, you will have to close this sharing and again do the share and select the video.
Hmm?
I'm
We
sorry.
can't see that video. We can't see the video.
We can hear the video, but we're still seeing
Yes,
the
we can't.
handout.
No, you'll have to close the screen sharing and do it again and select that video link. Not the link, video.
Okay. I really don't know how to do that.
Yeah, go again to screen share and click on the video if you can go there
Video link,
directly.
yes.
Yeah, I thought I'd brought it up. I'm going to copy.
Yeah, if you can copy the link and then paste it into Chrome or such, and then show us from there.
And I stop share, I assume.
Okay, you've copied that now?
Yep.
Okay, I guess I guess stop share and then come back into it and and paste the link into Chrome.
Including a very talented bird. You could.
Maybe you got to go in the screen share.
Nate, let me show you a video to.
Jen, one of the easiest things to do is to just share your desktop rather than trying to find the individual window. And then just make it as big as you can on your computer.
But I hear you. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
There we go. Yes. If you make it full screen now. Yep. And let's make sure we can hear it too.
Aspect of rhythm, and that's the beat. We're all familiar with the beat. It's what we tap our foot to or dance to when we go out to dance. And all over the world, there's music with a beat. Every culture has music. Every culture has some form of music with a beat. And all over the world, people have kind of a characteristic response to music with a beat. It starts early in life. It seems to kind of spring out from us, almost as if it were innate. Let me show you a video to illustrate. So where is that?
All right. I'm going to continue. So human beings particularly respond to music and rhythm. They're not the only ones. And as I pointed out before, cockatoos can also do it. So I'm going to fast forward. And remember,
the internet being the wonderful thing it is, a colleague sent me a video of a parrot dancing to a musical beat, or what seemed like a parrot dancing to a musical beat. This being a YouTube video, I had no idea of what was going on behind the camera. Was the parrot just imitating a human? Was it a mechanical parrot? I had no idea what was going on. But I luckily was able to contact the owner and say, this is more than just a kind of stupid pet trick. This is potentially a really important scientific finding, because we don't know any other animals that can do this. So will you collaborate with me? Will you do a real scientific study? And thankfully, she said yes. She'd actually had training as a biologist, though she ran a pet shelter. And she said, sure. And so we videoed Snowball, the cockatoo, dancing, unfortunately not to The Who, that would have been perfect, but to the Backstreet Boys. So take what you can get. And Snowball, we slowed down and sped up the song to different degrees to see if he could move predictably to the beat in a way that was like us, was flexible, without any cues from a human being. And we found out that he did, and it was the first case of another species, and it fit the kind of hypothesis. So let me show you a video from this work. Now this is a video of Snowball dancing to a sped up version of the song. It's actually 20% faster than the original song. And remember, he hasn't rehearsed. We haven't taken him backstage. This is his spontaneous reaction to this music. And it's a little too fast for him, actually. But you'll see how he figures that out.
Did you know that your body has over 600 enzymatic reactions that require magnesium? And on
So what, right, is the question. So what they have discovered is that the ability to predict beat is intrinsically linked to the ability to acquire language, because language in itself is rhythmical in nature, okay? The areas in the brain that respond to complex timing patterns are the same as those we use to process language. I'm going to read that again. The areas in the brain that respond to complex timing patterns are the same as those we use to process language. In children, their ability to repeat different or even predict different rhythmic patterns corresponds to their ability to break words into individual sounds. So the ability to predict rhythm is linked to phonological awareness. Ola Palchik is a PhD student at Tufts, and she's discovered that the path from rhythmic discrimination to literacy is not direct. So in other words, the ability, if you don't have the ability to predict rhythm, which kids who are suffering from dyslexia, it's impaired. So their ability to access and to learn phonological awareness, to be aware of words and patterns of words and the rhythm of words, is impaired. However, she's currently working on apps that kids can download that will help with their rhythmic prediction and learning rhythmic prediction. Okay. And so I think this is groundbreaking work. If we as storytellers introduce kids to rhythm, if our stories are rhythmical in nature, we are tuning or highlighting parts of their brain which will then help them access words and meaning. So I just feel that when we as storytellers work on our language to be rhythmical, where we use alliteration, which is fun, consonance, which is the same sort of thing, when we use repetition, we are making our stories much more fun to listen to. They're much more engaging. They're much more useful in creating image in the brain. It just so happens that rhythm is important in language acquisition. So we have 10 minutes. Do we have any questions? I'm sure there are many of them. Did you enjoy the videos? They were fun, weren't they? And I think no matter how poor or well we dance, we still respond to music, to rhythm. Words are no different. Words have that inherent rhythm. So let's go back, since we have 5 or 10 minutes. Oh, does anyone have a question, first of all? Nina.
Hello, Jen. I was
Hey,
wondering
Nina.
if you could share with us how you came across these snippets of information and, putting all the pieces together.
Yeah, I gave this workshop many years ago, and I wasn't happy with it, but I knew that rhythm is important in story. You can't begin a story with once upon a time and not enter into that magical world. And it's that rhythm. Once upon a time, there was and there wasn't, right? We're into rhythm immediately. So when I went back to improve this workshop, I used Google, searched the internet. I happened upon this tough talk given by Dr. Patel, and it just went, oh, yeah, now I get it. It's actually very important in brain development that babies are rocked, that babies are sung to. It's all helps with language acquisition. So I just happened upon it, Nina. And I've seen Snowball before because it was going around, on Facebook and everything. Everyone was watching. No other birds can do that. Their brains are not set up the way that a cockatoo's brain is geared to predict rhythm. Birds learn song from their parents. They learn specific patterns, but they're not able to change them. Right? So I just feel that this is, and you've got the link to this tough talk. They go into a much greater detail than I have about, rhythm and language acquisition. So I would just recommend that you listen to this whole tough talk. It's incredible, powerful stuff. They actually show Parkinson's patients who have obviously impaired motor ability. However, when they listen to music and they walk along with music, their motor coordination is drastically improved. So, we're on the right track as storytellers, telling stories using repetition. Now, there's one thing in a story that I use. It's simple. I use the word beautiful. But when my friend and I would ever say the word beautiful to one another, we would go, beautiful. So, it's a song. It's a little song. And then I repeat it throughout the story. Right? And the audience is anticipating it. And there's one moment where my best friend and I share a moment that requires no words. So I've set up that they're expecting beautiful, but we don't even need it. So it goes even more powerfully and deeply. So do you want to go back and have a go at storyline creation again? Well, let's give it a go. We have 5 minutes, okay? So I'm going to go back to screen share and guidelines. All right. So simple repetition is a great way to incorporate rhythm into our stories, of course. So what we're going to do, and you can do one of two things. You see example B, 100%. That's 100%, 5 syllables. French Parisienne, 5. Silk camisole knickers, 6. So it goes 100% French Parisian silk camisole knickers. Then I come down on the voice there because it's the end of that sequence. So just rhythmic adjectives. And you'll notice Parisian, silk, percent, camisole, knickers. So we've got that consonance too, which is just repetition of consonant sounds. So you can do that, and I'll tell you what you're going to be doing with it, or you can try where you start off with any noun. And this doesn't have to be a noun from your folk tale, but it can be. It can be any noun. but I have school, adjective, shoes. And I start off with, what were these shoes like? And instead of one adjective, black, buckled, school shoes, I've elongated the descriptions. A pair of black patent leather. So I've been much more specific. What were the buckles like? Silver buckled. Now, and then totally unsuitable. To ram home that point, dash, I'll never be allowed in town with Auntie Lily again. School shoes. It took me forever to come up with that pattern and rhythm of words. But it's like a little line of poetry in the story, and it tunes the listener's ear. So what I want you to do, and you can take a noun from your folktale opening, or you can take any noun. It doesn't matter. And I want you to either create a series of adjectives, rhythmical adjectives describing it. Do we have time for this, Eric?
People can just write for themselves, but we don't have time for breakout
no,
rooms.
Absolutely not. Just write for yourselves. Or you can do the black patent leather, which is a series of elongated adjectives with an interrupter, that I'll never be allowed in town with the Auntie Lily again, school shoes. That interrupter gives a vital piece of information. So I'm going to, I'll leave these up and individually go back to your folk tale, take a noun, and then try and create a series of adjectives to describe it. If you can, an interrupter. That's tough to do, but you can give it a try. And I'll give you a minute because that's all you have. So start writing, choose your noun, get busy. Just write down a noun. Now your series of adjectives. And for the sake of ease, you could start off with 100%. You could then say Arabian fine satin. And I'm very aware of the time. I see June writing assiduously. Priyanka is writing assiduously. Selena. Okay. Moira, goodbye. It was great of you to join us. Would anyone just like to share even the beginnings of what they've written, and then we'll call it a day, a rhythmical day? June, go ahead. Unmute. You have to unmute yourselves.
100% slippery, silvery satin.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Anybody else? Katie.
I've got some, the music was sizzling, slapping, completely toe tapping.
Hey, nice. Good rhythm there.
Can you hear me? I'm Janet.
Okay, Janet, take it. Yes, take it away, Janet.
Tiger, wet, growling, normally the most fierce tiger in those woods, simpering cold.
Nice. Piece of information, right? We have two others. Eric, I'm going to defer to you if we have time.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So we'll take Anise and then Rachel.
The terrific tiger trembled. The sky rumbled again.
Nice. Thank you. And Rachel.
The cross, cranky, critical, conceited king with his corrosive voice.
Ooh. Ooh. Yes, I love that. It's a powerful word, isn't it? Corrosive. Because it can be used later on, repeated in the story, right? That he can corrode people. All right. You've wasted a good 90 minutes of your time going down this rhythmical path with me. Thank you for joining me. And please take the time to look at that Tufts video. You'll really enjoy it and get a lot out of it. Thank you for joining me. Eric, if you could just quickly put in my email into the chat. If you have any questions about story creation or rhythm or something about this workshop, shoot me an email. Okay? All right. Thank you.
Thank you. That was wonderful. Now hold on. I have to get your email ID. It'll take a few seconds.
I can paste it in the chat if you want.
No, I have it here. Just 1 second. Okay, there it is.
Yep. Jenny.Munro@comcast.net. Pretty simple. All right. Thank you,
Okay,
Eric, and thank you
you.
for all the work you do.
Thank you
Very
so much.
appreciated.
Thank you. It was a wonderful workshop. Okay,
Thank
good
you.
night and good morning, everybody.
Yes.